Welcome to the video, homies. Today, I wanted to just cover something that quite a few people have asked me about. The general question is sort of what's the best first bike to start on? And it's a difficult question to answer when you don't know all of the information, because it's one of those things where there's a lot that you have to kind of take into account. In my opinion, there's different types of people when they get their first bike. Now, the first type of person is somebody who has never ridden a motorbike in their life and hardly knows how to ride a bicycle. Now, for that type of person, I would strongly recommend starting on like a 125 or a 150cc. That's going to be your safest option, and it's going to be the best way for you to learn how to actually ride. If you've got no riding experience whatsoever, then I would, without a doubt, start on a 150 or a 200cc. The next type of person is the type of person that has ridden dirt bikes when they were younger. So you've got like a basic understanding of how to ride a bike. If you're one of these people, then I would say that you could probably start on like a 300 or a 400. Yeah, so if you've got like a little bit of riding experience, let's say you rode dirt bikes when you were young, you kind of know what you're doing on a bike, then I would say start on a 300 or 400. That's what most people will start on. Even I started on a 300, and I had about, I would say, at least 6 years of riding experience. I know a lot of people have a lot of individual opinions about, what is the best beginner bike. And honestly, guys, if you like the way that bike looks, if you like the way that bike rides, then just get it. Don't worry about what other people think, but don't go and get a bike just because you think other people think that it's a good bike. I would honestly just go and test out all of the bikes that you're thinking of getting. I think that's the best way to do it. The next type of person is the type of person who has ridden dirt bikes their whole life, is currently riding dirt bikes, and they are thinking of getting a motorbike. Then for this type of person, I would say that you could more than likely start on a 600. But with that being said, I still wouldn't recommend doing it. I don't think it's a good idea. I personally think that it would be a better idea for, regardless of how experienced you are, I think it's a better idea to just go and get a 300 or a 400, keep it for a year, learn how to ride on the roads, and then go and sell it and buy a 600. I think that is a much, much better idea than to go and get a 600 and then you crash it like 2 weeks down the line. Then you don't have a bike, you're injured, and you're kind of back to square one. And then you have your last type of person who would go and buy a 1000 as their first bike. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be an to go and get a 1000 as your first bike. I've seen it. I've seen people starting on Hayabusas. I've seen people starting on R1s. I've seen people starting on RSV4s. Like, it is possible. But just because something's possible doesn't mean that it's advisable. Like, it's not a good idea. Especially if you've got no riding experience. I don't even need to tell you why that's a bad idea, because it should be pretty obvious. If I'm here advising you with no riding experience to go and get a 150, and there's people going and getting 1000s with no riding experience, then you can kind of see how that's a dumb idea. what I recommend to everyone who asks me is I say, alright, if you've got no riding experience, either go and learn on a dirt bike, go and learn how to ride, just like throttle control, clutch, changing gears, all of that sort of stuff. Go and learn how to do that on a dirt bike, and then go and get a 300. And then, whatever, a year down the line, go and get a 600. Yeah, if you've ridden a dirt bike before, then I would say go and get a 300, go and get a 400. Like, you're not going to be able to get yourself in a sticky situation on those bikes. Very easily, at least. And, yeah, I mean, if you've been riding, well, let's say racing, because I know quite a few people do dirt bike racing and then they decide that they want to go and get a sport bike to ride on the roads. If you are like currently doing motocross racing or enduro or whatever it is, then I would say that you could probably go and get a 600. And in terms of like 600s, I'm going to say the same thing that I said with the 300s and the 400s. Like, ultimately, as long as you like the way the bike looks and you like the way the bike rides, then it doesn't really matter. You know, everyone is going to have their own individual opinion on a bike. And they're going to say, oh, Yamahas are trash, or Kawasaki's are trash, or Hondas are the best, you know. And I feel like the people who are saying those things are the people who only own a Honda or only own a Kawasaki. Like, these people saying all of these weird and random remarks about these bikes are the people who haven't ridden those bikes before, so they actually have no place to say anything. Now, I'm not saying that I've ridden all of those bikes before, but because I haven't ridden all of those bikes, I'm not going to say to you, oh, go and get the 675 just because I know that it's a good bike. You know, of course I'm going to say, you know, oh, it's a really good bike, I've really enjoyed my time on it, but I'm not going to say to you, go and get the Daytona, you need to get a Daytona, you know, because I have ridden an R6 before, and I would actually say that I would prefer to ride the R6, but I haven't ridden a Kawasaki, I haven't ridden a Honda, I haven't ridden a Suzuki, so, you know, I am going to be like as objective as I can with the situation, because I actually don't know much about those bikes. So what I'm trying to say is, guys, ultimately, whatever bike you decide to get, just make sure it's a bike that you want. Don't get a bike because Jigsaw said that you should get this bike, or RMK said that you should get this bike, or Brian636 said you should get this bike. Like, it's just not the right way to do things. I'm not gonna say this is the best 600, this is the best 400, this is the best 1000. What I am gonna say is go and test out the bike that you're looking at and thinking of buying, and come to your own conclusion, because ultimately it's your decision and other people's opinions shouldn't matter. Like I said, don't go and get a bike because everybody says that that's the best bike, and don't go and avoid a Jigsaw because of the persona around them. Like, I know quite a few people now who have Jigsaws and they really enjoy them. Things are slowing down a bit on Instagram now, so it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.